Meant to Be Well Summit is created by three incredible women, Ambreen, Valerie and Andrea. The main objective is to bring together experts from around the world to raise awareness about the importance of holistic well-being. This summit aims to explore the multidimensional aspects of well-being, including physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. This isn't just any event, it's a unique, global summit marathon designed to cover all time zones across the globe. We created this event because we genuinely care about you. We believe that everyone deserves to thrive and live a life of well-being. This summit isn't just about learning, it's about transforming your life. Our speakers are dedicated to inspire, uplift, and help you tap into your full potential. Join us, and let these world-class thought leaders guide you toward a higher level of mental, physical, and spiritual well-being.
Here we go. I'm so happy to be here with Sharm and Jay. I pass you the stage, and then when you are ready, then I will add also your participant, Alchan, who will be joining you very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, one more time. A very good whatever time of day it is for whoever is joining us from whichever part of the world. I believe we have Al Chan with us now. Sharm, am I right?
Oh, not yet. Yes, now we have Al. Welcome, Al.
So Al Chan, to use Bahasa Melayu, Selamat Tengah Hari for you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And for rest of the world, I hope you have a fabulous day ahead. The magical healing power of the mind, how you can control your mind for overall well-being. That's going to be the session. It's going to be highly interactive. So Al Chan, be prepared to read, be prepared to answer questions. And if anyone else joins us, Sharm, you will alert me and we will acknowledge them. All right, Sharm? All right. Sharm, you got to either speak a little louder or not, because I can't hear you. I can't hear you yet.
They'll probably be joining you on YouTube.
Now I can hear you. Please be sure where you are with the mic, because otherwise I lost you. Yeah.
It went mute. It just mutes by itself.
Sharm, I can't hear you. It's a lag.
Okay, it was muted for some reason.
Right. Okay. I have to let the world know, and I say world because besides Al Chan, I don't know who else is going to be listening to this, that there's a thunderstorm going on right where I am. My name is Jay Narayan, and I'm in India right now, in the southern city of Bengaluru. As I said, there's rolling thunder and lightning outside, so there could be some disturbances, both in the connectivity and, of course, in stray sounds. Now, what is the magical healing power of the mind? First of all, I want to let all of you know that our external world, that is what we manifest outside of us, has got a lot to do with what we visualize or manifest inside of our heads. All right. And we can control that in order to, ensure that overall we are generally taking care of ourselves. Sharm, I'd like you to go to the next slide where there's a very powerful quote, and get Al Chan to read.
I was just hoping
Hello,
to help
Sharm.
a little bit. I will help a little bit because Jai cannot see. So for the audience, we are doing a little bit of backstage management. Sharm, I just mute yourself in between because there's a little bit of echo, and we are waiting for the presentation to be shared again because it's not shared yet. So please share it, and then I will add it to the stage. And Jay, thank you so much for being here and for doing this beautiful session. Until Sharm will fix the sharing, I will let you know when she did it. Maybe we can ask Alchan, how is the session so far? How is the summit? How is everything going?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So many speakers, it's all mind blown. I only had 1 hour sleep last night, this morning, in fact. It started at 3 in the afternoon yesterday. And while I was outside, so I'm just listening in and all that, when they started the launch between the Ambreen, Andrea, and Valerie. Then after that, it's all through the night, So basically, I didn't sleep a wink until around 7 o'clock this morning.
You are like a zombie.
Yeah.
Zombie.
In my secondary school time, they call me Vitamin Zack, because I was a scout, So when I was going for jamboree, we are competing for competition. So they call me Vitamin Zack because I keep on doing the gadgets and all that, trying to win for the team and all that. So basically, for my troop.
Um,
So
Andrea, maybe while we were waiting for Sharm to sort that out, I could just introduce myself briefly
Yes,
to
please
the
do
world.
so. Please do so. But I
Yeah,
think
so
it's already up. So right after introduction, please go
yeah,
on with.
sure. All right. So to the world, I'm Jai Narayan. I already mentioned that I'm in India right now. However, I have a bachelor's degree in architecture and building design and a master's degree from Japan in graphic design and visual communication. In my mid 30s, I was diagnosed with a genetic incurable eye condition that left me becoming progressively blind. Today, I'm totally blind. So I had to pivot from being an architect and designer to becoming a professional speaker, trainer, coach. My areas of expertise are in self leadership, how to be really the best version of yourself, as well as leadership communication and resilience in life. That's me, Jai Narayan, in a nutshell. Sham, are we ready to go?
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to that very good quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Yep. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Beautiful. And I've also mentioned there is a picture of him, somebody I admire a lot, and I did follow earlier, some of his podcasts. Al-Chan, you may have known the name.
yes.
Sham, anyone else has joined us as yet besides Al-Chan? Not yet. Okay, Al-Chan, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Can you very briefly, maybe in a minute, tell us what did you understand from that?
I would say it's a perspective. Sometimes the way I see things may be different from what other people see. The things. So, for example, a coin, you can see it as when you put up right, you can see it like it's just vertical. When people see it from the sideways, you can see the full side. It's a circle. Yeah. So this
Wonderful.
Is what
I totally agree with you. If I give an example from what's happening around me right now, I mentioned that there's thunder and lightning outside. Now, I could think or in my mind that, oh my goodness, that's such a disturbance, it's a loud noise, etc. Or I could think, you know what, it's actually cooling us down here because we did have some pretty high temperatures during the night. It was very warm and uncomfortable, but now I can feel the coolness. It's refreshing. And I'm sure the birds are delighted, all the vegetation around us, they need the rain. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. What would I recommend to all those who are joining us? Anytime you feel a negative thought, see if you can change your thought to what could be the positive side of it. Is it easy? No, but it can be done with training and a little bit of mind control. That's why I said the magical healing power of your mind. You can do that with a little bit of self-awareness and mindfulness. Sharm, the next slide.
Okay, activity 1. What are some things you cannot control in your life?
Right. So we have a huge house full of one person here. So Al-Chan, you will come up with some things you can give examples of what you can control in your life.
Things we cannot control are like the parents. They bring us to the world, and then our siblings, our cousins, aunties, uncles, all within the same sphere, and also our friends. Sometimes we can control, but sometimes the people are like-minded will come together, and those we are negative thinking or negative people will try to stay away from.
Very good, Al-Chan. Can you now give us a little more some other examples outside of parents or friends that you actually cannot control? Anything outside of parents and friends?
Oh, we cannot control the government. So if government has a certain policy,
yes,
it's difficult for us to change it. Yeah.
Yep. I get it. So Sharm, can you show him some examples? And he can read.
Okay. Yeah. Can you read this, Al?
Yeah, others' opinion about you, genetics, DNA, other people's emotion, feelings, and reactions, takes, currency market fluctuations, rules and regulations that become law, accidents that were not in your control, weather, passage of time, you cannot change the bottle, and late arrival of trains, planes, buses, and taxis. seasonal and natural cycles, sunrise and sunset,
Yep.
tides and ocean currents, etc. Let's
Yep.
go off the above. Don't hang on to it.
Right. So let me just speak about this for a minute or so. Very good. Well read there, Alchan. So if you look at that list, Alchan, your answer is also correct. We can't control other people, but a lot of times we can't control others' opinion about you. So Al, you can't control what someone else thinks about who you are. Okay. You cannot control natural events. A lot of this has got to do with nature. Nature cannot be controlled. And actually the mistake we make as human beings is we try to control it. And that's what causes disasters. You all know what happens in Malaysia too, right? With all the sinkholes and all that. So we need to be aware that there's a lot of things that's not in our hands to manage or control. And we need to let go of that. That's the biggest mistake we make. I'll give you an example, even with traffic jams. You could be driving somewhere and get stuck in a traffic jam. You can't control that jam as it happens. Well, you could have controlled it by not being in it yourself, right? Your car also adds to that cars. You could have taken the train instead. But once you're there, maybe you can use it to plan what you would do when you arrive at your destination. Usually that's what I do when I used to travel for work. It takes me 1.5 hours one way, 3 hours, 1.5 again back in the evening. And I used to spend time thinking about what I would do in terms of my action plans. So it's a lot of, I think, what Zig Ziglar, Al-Chan, have you heard of the name Zig Ziglar?
Yes, definitely.
Yep, the motivational speaker. Well, Zig Ziglar once said that being stuck in traffic is called automobile university, which means you can play an audiobook and listen to it. Something learning, whatever else you want to listen to. Anyway, that's only an example of a traffic jam. It can be all that list of things and more. There's an etc. in the end. Please identify what you cannot control and don't get stressed over that. Which brings us to the next slide, Sharm.
What are some things you can control in your life?
Now I come back to you, Alchan. You're getting this one-on-one coaching here. My goodness, you are a blessed man indeed. Alchan, what are some things you can control in your life?
We can control and where we want to go and what time we should go there, and also who we want to mix with, and also whatever things, or even choosing the spouse, for example. So sometimes people courting and all that. You feel that the girl does not jive with you and all that. So
very true. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to your earlier answer on what you can't control. And your first answer was you can't control your friends and your parents, etc., and what they think about you. Let me repeat that. You cannot control your friends' opinion about you. But Sharm, here's something interesting. Go to the next slide, please.
Okay.
And Alchan, see the first one. What can you control?
Your opinion about yourself.
Now stop there. Yes, 1 second. So you cannot control others' opinion about you, but you can control your opinion about yourself. And this is very important to understand today. What is your opinion about yourself is something that's going to contribute to your self-esteem, is going to contribute to your self-confidence, and of course, to your self-value. And when you value your own self highly, I mean, not in a very sort of idealistic way, but that's the truth, and you are what you are, then you will be respected and valued by others too, because you project it. So your opinion about yourself can be controlled, Al. What else?
Your own emotions, feelings, and reactions.
You can control it. What else?
Your mood, your respect and compassion for others.
Yes.
Your attire.
Yes.
Your communication style, your attitude and effort, your work ethics, your influence on others, your diet and self-care.
Oh, yes.
And your punctuality.
Yes.
Focus on the above. Embrace it.
Yeah. So if you remember the previous one, what you cannot control, don't hang on to it, let it go. But what you can control, embrace it. Give it a warm hug and say, here, I control you, you are mine. All right. So you can control punctuality. You be on time by being a little early. That's all. If you know the traffic is bad or the weather, like today in Bengaluru, in India, it's a thunderstorm, well, I would leave earlier then. And I will allow for that. Right. So, etc., etc. You can control your own for example, dreams and your aspirations, whatever else goals that you set, you can control it. You can manage your mood, Alchan. It's up to you what you do to manage it. In my case, I listen to music. I listen to humor. I listen to a lot of comedy, for example, on podcasts, obviously. So these are in your control. Start making a list for yourself, Alchan. It need not only be this number of items. There's an etc. there. What else can you add to it? And then embrace it. Every time your mind goes into some negative thought, start asking yourself this important question. Can I control it or can I not control it? If it's not controllable, don't hang on, let it go. If it's controllable, embrace it and start working on it. Yes, Sharm, the next one.
Okay, this is the serenity prayer. Al, can you read it?
Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
I'm going to talk about this for a few minutes. First of all, Al, I keep saying Al because I don't know, Sharm, yet if anyone else has joined us.
No, not at the moment.
And of course, this would also be to those who listen to the recording later. But Al, are you familiar with the word serenity? What is the meaning of serenity?
It's very peace and calm and
yes.
very soothing.
Yes. Yeah, it comes from the word serene. You're right. You're absolutely spot on, Al. It means serene, calm, tranquil. So, Lord, grant me the serenity to, to accept the things that I cannot control. What it means is grant me a peace of mind, a calmness of mind, so that I have the clarity to understand I can't control this. And also grant me the courage in order to control the things that I can and the wisdom to know the difference, to change the things I can, yes, to change and control. And the wisdom to know the difference. Sharm, the next one is the break, but we want to get a little discussion going here with Alchan. All right?
Yep.
So Al, I would like you to share with us a real life example in your daily routine, whatever work you do or wherever you are, of some things that happens to you frequently, which may have upset you and you realized you couldn't control it. You mentioned parents earlier. I think you mentioned friends, etc. Are there examples you can give of things you can control from your life?
The things that I can't control?
Yeah, both can't and then can. And give examples of what you do.
Oh, I'm a talent scout for acting in Malaysia. So basically, some talents does not go punctual to the shoots and all that, and that will irritate me, because when we are giving them the call time and they don't turn up or give some excuses that my car broke down or something, so that would take me off in that example. So because people will be rushing me, say, where is your talent? Where is your talent? What's his ETA, for example? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what do you do at that time, Alchan? When it turns you off or when it throws you off, what exactly? How do you respond? How do you react?
I will have to call him many times to make sure that he takes alternatives, like finding an option to get onto a Grab car or something, to make sure he turns up to the location on time, for the shoot. Is
this something that happens frequently, or is it occasional, exception?
From time to time, some talent.
From time to time.
Yeah, on punctuality is bad, and sometimes you go there and they cannot perform and all that, so they get safe.
Okay, and this happens in your profession as a talent scout, you're saying, right, Al?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I have a question for you now. Follow-up question to this. So going forward, since some parts of it we already saw the list, you can't control them being late, but there are certain things you can control. What could you do a little better next time so you reduce the frequency of this happening? I have an idea, but what is yours?
Yeah, my idea is to get a backup talent as well, so that at least if that talent does not wake up on time, at least we got somebody else to replace. Because sometimes the shoots are very early in the morning, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. So some of them, they refuse to put the vibration. I mean, they put into vibration mode or silent mode. And unfortunately, they couldn't hear the phone ringing and all that. So I always try to put a backup, a similar person, in the position.
Very good. That's a great technique. Yeah, you've got plan B, therefore, if plan A doesn't work. What I would also possibly look at is the previous evening itself or the night, tell the main person who's supposed to turn up that if they don't come, they're going to be replaced. So they lose an opportunity. And in order to do that, they got to be not on time, but at least 10 minutes before the scheduled time. You give them a buffer of 10 minutes. Usually they're on time. All right. You let them know that they miss an opportunity to be visible and for better outreach, around the world. But that chance is gone. They missed the bus. They missed the boat. Someone else is going to replace them. Let them know you already have a backup. That gives it importance. All right. So, yeah. Now, what about examples of where you did control something and things went well? What was it?
Oh, the production house will give me praise, Like, for example, the talent goes there and nothing happens, It's very quiet and there's no complaint, after the shoot finishes and all that. So everything all went well, and there's no complaint at all. If there's complaint, of course, the feedback just come automatically to me, So if not, then we just wait for the salary to come out and the payment, So, and the talent will also be happy with me, for giving them the opportunity to get onto the gig.
Sure. So would you therefore agree with me that a lot of this is in our control, which means, as I mentioned, the magical healing power of your mind, if your mind has great clarity between, yes, this is something in my hand and I'm going to do this, I can control it, or no, this is not in my hands, I don't have to get so stressed out about it. Things overall, your well-being in terms of how you can manage your life. If you don't get stressed out too much of what you cannot control, it makes it a little easier for you. Would you agree, Al?
Yes, of course.
If you don't get stressed out, because I know people. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I have to calm down and be patient, because sometimes patience is the virtue, of all mankind. If we are not patient, we'll get irritated easily. For example, like you stuck in traffic jam earlier, you're saying, you can actually do something else inside the car. Or something.
Yeah. You can plan your day. You can listen to, as Zig Ziglar says, Automobile University. Listen to a book, an e-learning book, or something on your topic. And maybe Sharm will chip in for about a few minutes here. That you can't control what your neighbors do, right, Sharm? Their behavior, etc. And it might be upsetting, it could be stressful, it's annoying, but it's not in your hands, it's them. What can you do? You have to accept it and just tell yourself that you're fortunate you're not living alone. There are neighbors around you. Yes, Sharm?
Yeah, I think, this is one of my favorite prayers. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. And I think so very, very important is the wisdom to know the difference. Because sometimes we get so low when something goes wrong that we just, think, oh, why me? I remember I saw a Peanut comics where Charlie Brown is hanging upside down when he was trying to fly a kite and he got tangled up in a tree and he's hanging upside down and he's saying, why me? And I actually bought this poster and put it in my bedroom when I was in college to inspire me, right? I mean, it was funny. So yes, I think, when we have a challenge, I think we should try to reframe our challenge as what Jay has been telling you all this while. One thing I'd like to share is when my mom was critically ill, terminally ill, I became very depressed, very low. And then suddenly it touched my mind or my heart that this is not the way my mom brought me up. It's like she went through a lot of challenges, but she was always she was always trying to be positive and stuff like that. So I reframed that I reframed the sentence that I'm going to lose my mom to I'm so glad that I had my mom for all these years to have had such a person as my mom. So when I reframed that, my mood got better. And basically I was better company to my mom and my siblings. So I think even in such a dire state, you can reframe to actually, go through the situation, even if it's challenging, to go through that situation and appreciate it and look at it from a different angle. Yeah,
Sharm, I absolutely love Charlie Brown's hanging upside down, tangled up in the kite string and saying, why me? Because I was visualizing this as he spoke. And this is exactly what I went through when I was diagnosed with blindness in my mid-30s in Japan. That is where I was living and working at the time. Everything I was doing was visual: architecture, graphic design, my hobbies, drawing, painting, illustration, photography. And suddenly I had this diagnosis and gradually started to lose my sight. So there was this why me hanging like a dark cloud over my head for, I think, close to a few years, Sharm, Alchan, until I started to develop my other senses or pay more attention to hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, feeling. And those kicked in and those started making me more aware of my surroundings. And today, 35 years later, well, 25 years later, I feel that I'm a better person because of that awareness, as you say. And I kind of, in a very quirky, funny sort of way, I kind of think, well, it was nice that it was me. Why me? Well, it has made me a better person because now I am more sensitive to my environment than people who are sighted. At least I've been told that. I'm more sensitive to what's happening. I can hear sounds that Sharm misses. I can notice things in my mind that she will miss noticing. By the way, to those of you who are listening to this, Sharm, who is also part of this discussion, is my partner. And originally from Malaysia, she's living with me right now in India. So that's the thing. So sometimes, as Dr. Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change the perspective of your vision, as in a different angle. Maybe, okay, if I look at it this way, it's a better thing. So always look for what is the positive that can come out of this negative. Let me repeat that. What is the positive that can come out of this negative? What is it that can be done from this? What outcome, right? Or come out of this? Very often, you will find out that everything that happens not to you, but it's for you, it actually makes you a better person. Whatever challenge, I know I'm not trivializing health issues, or I'm not making light of people who go through various challenges in their life. That is not the intention. The intention is to let you know that there is a magical healing power of your mind. The way you look at things, the way you think can actually be altered, as you will notice in today's session. Sharm, I believe there is a short break coming up. I don't know whether we can do away with that, or if you can alert me.
I think we can do away with that.
Yeah.
Because there's three of us.
Because there's only Al here. So can you go to the next slide?
Yeah, before I go to that, I want to say something Charlie Brown, he said, why me, right? And I think we have to also accept that, and challenges happen to everybody. So instead of asking why me, why not me?
Yeah. Why not? That's what I meant. Yeah.
Why not me? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it happened. It's happening. It is a situation, and the first thing that comes is, of course, acceptance. I think you used to have a formula, Jay. First is accept.
Yes, I will tell you what. Yeah, accept, adapt, achieve. It's called the AAA, the 3A formula. 3A, almost like a 3A battery, Alchan, and the rest. Because it's like a light bulb with a 3A battery over your head. Ping, an aha moment. The 3 A's are, if you're noting it down, accept first, and then you adapt to the situation to see what must you do to make things a little easier for you in terms of your life, and finally achieve whatever it is, outcomes that you desired. Positive outcomes, right? Accept, adapt, achieve is the 3A formula, Sharm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Okay, we'll go on to the next.
Can I add on that?
Yeah.
You've got a 3D formula, actually.
Go ahead.
So basically, in life, we have our desires, So when we have desires, of course, sometimes we come through the challenge and we have difficulties. So we have to overcome the difficulties. Then we find our discovery. So that's the 3D I'd like to share. Thanks.
Wow. Nice. Thank you for sharing.
That is quite interesting and quite enlightening, actually. Yeah, and I would like to thank you, Alice, for sharing that. In spite of the fact that you just told us earlier at the beginning that you haven't slept at all night, you are pretty lucid, if I may say that, as in you're very clear in your mind and what you're saying without sleep. You're absolutely amazing.
Yes, the magical mind controls, So if I don't sleep,
I like that. The magic of your mind. Yes, absolutely. It's very true. So, okay. Sharm, can we move on?
Okay, what's amygdala response?
Oh, yes.
Al, can you just read it and I'll just switch it to a picture?
Yeah. What's the amygdala response? A tiny part of your brain that controls anger, anxiety, fear, fight, flight, or freeze response, frustration, happiness.
Yes, that too. Now, don't go yet, Sharm. I just want to let the people.
I am showing a photo of
the picture.
a picture of how small.
Sure. Yeah.
amygdala is, can you see it, El?
Yes, it's a very tiny green dot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's so small, but it controls a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, Sharm. I just wanted to say that the root word, the origin of that word amygdala comes from the Greek word for almond. As we know, the little seed that sometimes we eat, okay, salted, otherwise roasted, almond. Why does it come from that word? Because of its small size and the shape. Apparently, it's very close to an almond shape. I'm going to repeat what Sham said. This tiny little thingy in your brain controls all your emotions, by the way. So it controls it doesn't actually control it, it triggers it also. So that's why it's called emotional response. So when Alshan, you get upset, it's the amygdala that's working. When you are angry or frustrated, you told me you are into, talent scouts, you're a talent scout and people come late, it throws you off. That's the amygdala, is throwing you off, right? Now, why is this important to know? It is also important to know that it also controls your happiness and your reaction positively. Whatever the way you emote, which comes from emotion, is triggered by this teeny little thing in your head, okay, your brain, called that. So what is amygdala response? There was one line there, if you're still on that slide, Shram, where it says your fight, flight, or freeze syndrome. Can you see that? You read it? Your fight. Yeah. So Alchan, can you tell me what have you interpreted from that? What is the fight, flight, freeze syndrome? When can you experience it?
Well, that's when you're in a jungle and suddenly a tiger just pop up, And what would you do? So you'll be in a situation. There's a total, either you panic, you stand there still, or you start running and all that, So the tiger will chase you. Mm-hmm.
You're right. In my case, all three of these things are going to happen. My mind will tell me to fight, and then I will think of running away, and then probably I'll freeze. So, all of this can happen, but that's all the responses that are triggered by this little tiny thingy in your brain, the amygdala, right?
But I will fight the tiger, of course. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's true. And of course, you got to also be quick in thinking that whether you can take the tiger on, right? In this case, you're giving the example of a tiger. You might have to, maybe flight was a better option. You got to take the right options based on your experience and your mind control at that time, being mindful, right? Now, however, it may not only be a tiger in the jungle. You can have this even at work. I don't mean a tiger at work. I'm not saying a tiger comes into your workplace. I'm just saying you can even have this fight, flight, or fight, freeze syndrome, even when you are in a professional environment. Maybe you are asked a question to which you have no answer. It's the senior leadership team asking this to you in front of a large audience, and you freeze. That can also happen, okay? Because you did not prepare, etc. Or there is some. Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Is there a difference between the mind and the brain?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, technically, yes, because your brain is exactly what we understand it being, the prefrontal cortex, the cerebellum, the left part of your brain for logic, the right part for creativity, and we found out about the amygdala. All that is the brain, whereas the mind is not exactly your brain. The mind is your emotional state within your thinking. For example, I'm feeling depressed, or I'm feeling joyful, or I feel very stressed out. That's all your mind doing that. It's mind playing. That's why we call it mind games. We don't say brain games. Right?
Jay, I'd like to just let you know that Sin Fong, Yuva, and Peter Ong are here. And there are some comments. Yeah, I couldn't see the comments because I was sharing the screen. Emotion sometimes is hard to control. Peter says that. Sin Fong says, I prefer to manage rather than control. Yuba says we can't control others' thoughts, but we can manage how we take them. That's deep and powerful. And Sin Fong also says that threats can be used as a means and means of control. Peter likes your accept, adapt, achieve, 3A, AAA battery.
Right. Sharm, can you repeat what Sin Fong said just before you mentioned Peter's comment? What was it that Sin Fong said?
Threats can be used as a means of control.
Oh yeah, that's different. That is when you are controlling someone by force. I think what Sin Fong meant here is coercing, COERCING. That means you're forcing someone to under duress. No, we are not really discussing that here. that happens in certain situations. This is like, what is it that you can do without forcing someone to do something? Is primarily control your own actions. I want to make a comment here. All of them are very valid comments here. I actually thank you all for that sharing. I also want to tell you that as human beings, none of us, nobody who's present in this room right now or this little session, is responsible for feelings and emotions. Let me repeat that. None of us are responsible for our feelings and emotions, whether it is delight, joy, depression, anger, frustration, irritation, or even happiness, as in you feel you want to laugh out loud. However, we are responsible ourselves for the actions that those emotions trigger. So we got to be understanding that as humans, we all have feelings. We are not robots. We are not automatons, right? So since we're humans, we have feelings. But what action does your anger trigger? What action does happiness? Just because I'm happy doesn't mean I can go into a boardroom meeting doing cartwheels and backflips, right? That'll be frowned upon in terms of being a little flippant, in a big meeting like that. I have to control that happiness and not demonstrate it in that way. All right. So that's only a random example. It can be any other way, right? Just
Jay,
because, yeah.
There is a question from Yuva. It's kind of physiological, as in what's the difference between the mind and the brain? It's a challenging question.
No, we already addressed that.
Okay. You did. Oh, sorry, I didn't get that. Okay.
Well, some of the common words that come to my mind immediately in real time, we're using those two words. We say mind games, but we say brain teasers. All right. So mind games is when you have a little bit of this psychological effect on someone else and you play mind games with them. A lot of this is used in chess, by the way. I don't know how many of you are familiar. Of course, you know chess, as in you heard the name. But chess players, they're just two people not talking to each other, playing the game. And it's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of forward thinking and planning to win the game. But they also play mind games with each other, right? In the way they body language or eye contact and stuff like that. Also, in a lot of other sports, this is used. Whereas brain teasers are something more like riddles, quizzes, anagrams, something to just keep your brain active, especially when we are aging now. Well, I certainly know that I'm in my 60s now. We need brain teasers to keep our brain from getting old fast. So that is brain. So that's the thing.
Sudoku, Sudoku.
Yes, crosswords, yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anyway, we're going to come back to the magical power of the brain. Something interesting is going to happen in terms of how you think. So, Sharm, can we go to the next slide?
Can you see the next slide,
Can you manage your feelings and emotions?
Yes.
Even those frequently prone to a reactive emotional response can.
Yes.
Dampen, decrease negative response. Heighten, increase positive response.
Exactly. So
emotion restraint and mind control when needed.
Right. We'll freeze on that for a while. I want you to, because this is an important slide, Sharm, just keep it on that. So therefore, can we control or manage? I think Yuva said, I like the word manage. Yes, I'm using it more in terms of manage, how to manage your moods, how to manage your mind for overall well-being. There was a subtext on the first slide. Okay. But how to also control your mind so that you don't react, but you respond. So can you do this? Well, of course, you can with some mindfulness and from training. There is no such thing as I cannot manage my mind, I cannot control. You can to heighten, well, let's go to the previous one, to dampen the negative responses and to heighten the positive ones. So how do you do this? Find out what your negative responses and how frequently they occur. What triggers you? What are the topics or sub-instances or situations or environment that upsets you, frustrates you, irritates you, and be aware of that before it actually triggers the amygdala response and dampen it. Say, I will not react. I shall remain silent here. I shall or you could even step away from the situation. I'm not talking in terms of flight, but you just distance yourself from it so that you don't get involved, right? So I would actually like to hear a little bit from Sing Fong and some of the others, Sharm, in terms of if they can.
A little bit of problem with sharing in shucks.
Typing the chat, something, yeah.
My
no worries. Let me check the comments and I will add you. So Yuva was asking the question. No more since then. So they have just shared there's no more other comments, no new comments.
Okay, no worries. If you can unmute and speak, I just want to hear their voices also. It's been Al Chan contributing a lot. Thank you, sir. If you can tell us about some time when you realized that you could control your mind, that you were in a situation, you controlled it, and the outcome was positive. It was going in a direction, but you changed it. Keep it short. What was the situation?
I think we will ask him to add it to the comments because he is joining us through the comments. So don't worry.
Okay, no worries. Not a problem.
So they are supporting, but they are supporting you in the chat.
Yeah, I think what I can say is there's a powerful quote by T. Harv Eker. He said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe can achieve, So it's like, always remember this because it's easy. It starts with C and then B and A, instead of A, B, C. So the last word will be A, Whatever the mind can conceive and believe can achieve, So this is a very powerful statement.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Conceive, believe, achieve. C, B, A rather than A, B, C. I love it. I love that. And I want to add to that by saying, if you can see it in your mind, you can be it in your world. All right. And also, if you can view it in your mind, you can do it in your world. So if you can see it, then you can be it. If you can view it, you can do it. So it's all about the mind, guys. It's how you visualize yourself and what you want for yourself. That's important as an outcome, right? And that can be done. It comes a little bit of management, all right? Mind managing. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Jay, there's about 7 minutes left. My screen has gone blank, so I for some reason it's malfunctioned. So I've sent the Andrea. Are you able to share the file? Okay, I will just maybe read it out.
Yeah, can you read out those statements, the positive and the negative ones? Yeah.
Yep. So before that, I'd like to also say, okay.
These are what happens with technology, guys.
Okay.
I have an acronym for M2BW, meant to be well. It's a manifest to believe wellness. So the wellness can come from health, can come from wealth. I mean, our wellness as well. It's our personal wellness, hygiene, and also whatever we do, and our daily activities and all that, and our rituals. So
absolutely right. Yeah.
Jay, do you want to talk about? Thank you, El. Jay, do you want to talk about "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff"? That quote from Richard Carlson, the 90-10.
Well, yes. I'm going to. First of all, I don't know if you've heard this this book. It's called "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff," and it's by Richard Carlson. And there's this 90-10 rule, which states that 90% of the time, most things do go well, but we tend to focus on the 10% that did not. Now, that's only an example of 90-10. It can be so many other instances. As 9 things you did today went well, 1 thing that did not, and that's what's going to bother you, and you're tossing and turning in bed all night because of that 1 thing that didn't. So basically what is implied is focus on the 90% of stuff that goes well in your life and not dwell upon too much the 10% that did not. I'm not saying you ignore those 10%. Obviously, you're going to learn from it. You got to manage it, right? But we sometimes tend to be so deep down in that 10% negativity that we forget the 90% positivity that's happening. The 90% of things, or the 9 out of 10 things, etc. 9 out of 10 people we meet are great people. The 1% that you did not like, and that is going to play on your mind. My worst enemy number 1. What happened to the 9 best friends in the world then? All right. So that's the Richard Carlson, don't sweat the small stuff. That means little things in life, just let it go. I go back to my opening slide where I said, don't hang on to it, but embrace what's going well for you. That's what he means. Sharm, have you resolved anything here?
I have the don't sweat the small stuff, so don't worry. I am at that slide. So we have only 5 minutes left, and I have to jump to the next session. So just let me know if you want me to continue. The next slide is what you think about all the time becomes your focus. That's the next slide.
That is right. So I just want to spend 1 minute on that. What you think about all the time becomes your focus, because the the formula here is your thoughts becomes your focus, which is equal your feeling. That's all you got to know here. Very important. Your thoughts becomes your focus, which equals your feeling. So T plus F equals F. So we can move on, Sharm.
Okay, so I'm having an issue with my other device. Okay, so to rephrase, I hate my job.
All right. Now, here's we're going to wrap up with this: how you can manage your mind and your thoughts so that it becomes positive. I hate my job. You say, I hate my job. What could you say?
I'm grateful that I have a job, unlike so many people around the world.
Right. So I'm grateful I have a job, unlike so many people around the world, which is true, by the way. Currently, day by day, there is just layoffs and people are getting unemployed. So don't say, I hate my job. Be grateful you have a job.
Next, Andrea. Okay, Al, can you read it?
I don't have enough time. How can I prioritize my time and energy levels?
Right. So instead of saying, I don't have enough time, and you're getting stressed out, well, ask yourself, how can I prioritize my time and energy better? And do that.
Next.
I have no friends. How can I be one first, starting today?
Oh, yeah. So that's another example. Next.
I don't walk or exercise enough. I'll take small incremental steps to improve my energy, stamina, and motivation, starting now.
Starting now. Maybe you drink water. Maybe take 10 steps inside the house. I do, as you say in Bahasa Melayu, Jalan Dalam Rumah. I don't know, Sembulan Kali, Sepuluh Kali, 10 times for those who don't understand that. I just walk inside the house up and down 10 to 20 times every morning. The first thing I do. So that's a good example. Anyway.
Okay, we have some comments from Peter. 10% of life is made up what happens to you, 90%. I think he's saying what you have shared.
Yeah.
Sing Pong says the power of imagination.
Yes. Very true. What if you can view it, you can be it, you can do it. Yeah. Let's move on to the next. We are rushing here, but still.
Your outside world is a reflection of your inside world.
Yes.
What you visualize in your mind is what you manifest in your world.
Exactly what Sing Fong said. It's all imagination, right? Next. In other words.
Next. Oh, yeah.
Finally, for overall well-being, analyze and heal your interpersonal issues.
Yes, this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Please also address your interpersonal issues. We have talked a lot about the magical healing power of the mind, but what about with people that you are with most of the time? You have your circle of friends, you got a circle, of course, family, and then of course your colleagues and then visitors and strangers. I mean, public. All right. So how do you do this?
I'm good at managing and maintaining. Okay, next. Focus on peaceful resolutions, not thoughts. Your choices. Content, accept despite opposition. And break off. Extend, grow. Mend, repair. Pretend, remain neutral, and maintain the status quo.
Right. So, Sharm, this is important. So this is how you manage relationships, right? So, Sharm, can you read those words one more time?
Okay. Content, accept despite opposition.
Yes.
And break off. Extend, grow. Mend, repair. Pretend, remain neutral, and maintain the status quo.
So these are the options or choices we make when we have to look with interpersonal relationships. One of these can help you. Okay. When you go to the next.
If you care, communicate. Ask open-ended questions. A, acknowledge, listen, don't interrupt. R, recommend, think win-win. E, encourage, talk about mutual benefits. Remember, a broken bone heals with time. That's the last slide.
So so this is, if you care about yourself first, I'm going to wrap with this, end with this. And if you care about others in terms of your relationships, let me go back to the magical healing power of the mind. We can manage it for our overall well-being. And care was, one more time, C, Sharm? Communicate. So open up and speak to people and get to understand them.
Open-ended questions.
Open-ended question, which means a who, what, where, when, why, how. Many of you know this. It's the 5W, 1H question, not close or yes or no. I'll repeat that. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Ask these questions if you care about people. Acknowledge, yes.
Recommend, think win-win.
Recommend, there is R, which means always think win-win. So recommend something. If Al Chan came to me for a solution, I would recommend something to him that would be of benefit to him. In the process, it benefits me too. Maybe I made a new friend. or maybe it was a value to me that I got to learn something through that situation or the resolution. So think win-win. Next.
And encourage.
And of course, encourage mutual benefit. What is the motivation for both of us? Well, a lot of times this can also help with resoluting conflict. We are not speaking of that today. It's not conflict resolution. This is about collaboration. All right. So I think that wraps up our session. I don't know how much time we had left.
I would like to really thank Elle for being our coachee.
And the primary participant.
And also for all of you, Sinfong, Peter, Yuva, for joining us, and especially Andrea for stepping in when my device malfunctioned.
Yeah.
So
with that, I thank you also from my end, and I have to also apologize on my part for some of the technical glitches which kind of interrupted the proceedings. But otherwise, it was a wonderful sharing by all of you. Thank you. Back to you, Andrea.
No, it's perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I know that it always can happen. I always say if technology can go wrong, it will go wrong. So it happened to us in the last 5 years, and it's every time it's happening. As we mentioned at the beginning of the summit, nothing is perfect. Thank you for being flexible. Thank you for sticking around. We had also Christian and Jay throughout the session, Jag throughout the session, trying to join in as participants, but they couldn't figure their technical issues, but they were here, they were supporting you, and they wanted to be here. I just want you to know. And for Sharm also being the second hand, the other half of Jay, I know it's sometimes mind-blowing what we have to do on the other side of this camera to make everything work, but together we made it happen. You send me the rest of the sessions and I could share it, so no worries. I think people could take away what they need to take away. They will rewatch the session and they will enjoy again and take away all the learnings that they could do. And Peter is here with us for almost all 24 hours, just like Alchan. So for the both of you, congratulations for making it for 24 hours. It's like you are the two marathoners here, so that we have to appreciate them. And then also for Yuva and Krishan and Jag and all the other guys who will be watching this later. Really, thank you so much for joining in. And also Simfong from Australia. We know you also have difficulties. And I have to just, say big appreciations, because here you can see the power of commitment and the power of showing off, because those people who have difficulties to see are on the screen presenting to you and writing in the comments. So big kudos to those guys who show up and are here despite of all the difficulties that they are facing in their life. And I'm really appreciating. And this is all about this summit. I don't judge anyone not showing up, but I'm saying that those who are showing up despite the difficulties, you deserve the applause, because you will change your life.
Definitely.
Teamwork acronym stands for Together We Achieve More.
Exactly.
Yeah, we do.
Supporting each other and holding the hands and just finding solutions. It's always better in life. This was a live presentation of that no one was freaking out. We just solved the situation and we finished the presentation. So thank you so much, Jay and Sharm. Amazing as always. Thank you for sharing your love and your support for the people. Alchan, you are a champion with Peter. Thank you so much for doing this marathon. And very, very soon we have the last session with Yuva and Krishan and Betty. I have to jump out from here and jump into there. And then, of course, we continue the marathon because it has to be 48 hours. So we will be passing the torch to Embreen, who will be passing it to Valerie, closing everything tomorrow, 8 a.m. So a big run, a big sigh for me. It's perfect. Asia is almost done, and we will be getting back soon with the next session. Thank you so much, Jai.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everybody else.
Elle, you rock. Elle, you rock.
Elle, you rock. Sinfong, thanks from
Peter, you are the best.
Yes, Peter, Sinfong, you are.
Peter.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.